Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's so good to have you here. If it's your first time here, hi, I'm Chidera, and if you're a returning subscriber, you're the real OG. Okay, so in this video, basically, I'm going to be answering the question, what visa type, Chidera, did you use to go back to the UK? One of the frequent comments in my last video was, oh Chidera, what visa did you use? How did you go back to the UK? Are you going back for a PhD? All of that. So I'm going to explain in detail the visa type that I used, processing timelines, requirements, eligibility, all of that. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the visa type that I used to come back to the UK is known as spousal visa. Well, ideally, it is under the category family visas and applying to move to the UK as a partner or a spouse. So I moved to the UK with a spousal visa. Sorry to burst the bubble of everyone who thought, oh, she's going to do a PhD or she's coming back to do a PhD. Well, who knows? Maybe I just might. And in order to apply for this visa, your partner has to be one, a British citizen, or two, already have an existing indefinite leave to remain. That means they have permanent residency in the UK already. So my partner falls into the first category, which is British citizen, and so I was able to apply to join him as a partner here in the UK. So the very first thing I had to do, I had to fill an online application form on the UK Gov website, and then when I filled that online application, I was now transferred to TLS Contact to book a biometric date. So they'll collect my fingerprint, my picture, and then also so I can submit all supporting documents. Now this is where the problem is, right? On the TLS Contact, there's something called assisted service, there's something called self-service, meaning I'll upload the documents myself, and ideally that's the service I want to go for because I'm used to visa application processes. But on the TLS website, I could not find any self-service dates that was early. The only self-service dates I could find were like the next month, the next 2 months. It was that insane. I was like, how is that possible that all the self-service slots are all gone? So this is one thing I feel like there's low-key corruption in it, because there were so many people I knew that via my community of international students, there are people that actually help people book earlier dates. That means there's a way they do it, so you pay them and they book an earlier date. But anyway, so when I could not find self-service for an earlier date, I now had to pay for assisted service. I had to pay 37,850 for this assisted service, which I actually did not need. Okay, so that's the first expense. After I can't remember if it was after or before I filled the form. I think it was after. Okay, after I filled the form, I also had to do tuberculosis test. I think if you're used to applying for a visa in the UK, you know you need a TB test if you're from a West African country, I believe. I had to call IUM. They were not picking. Then I had to email them, and then the man told me that the available dates for the test was like a month away. I'm like, are you people kidding me? Like, I'm in a hurry. So I had to beg him in the email. Literally, I had to beg. So he asked me when I would like to do my visa application. I gave him a range of dates, and this man picked the last day in that range and then gave him. I was grateful, so I was able to go in for my tuberculosis test. The thing is, in order to book the tuberculosis test, I had to first pay. So you'd have to first pay for the TB test and then attach proof of payment to their email in order to get an appointment date. So that was what I did, and I paid 57,800 naira for the tuberculosis test, went for the test and got the results that same day, and that was done with. Now we're going to the main cocoa of this thing, which is requirements to apply. I feel like this visa is one of the most, I don't know, it's a lot to apply for. Like it's a lot of things to submit just to apply for this visa. I think it's because this visa route is known as a settlement route, meaning that after 5 years of staying in the UK as a partner or as a spouse, I can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So they don't take this application lightly because it is a route to settlement. Settlement basically means residency, permanent residency in the UK. First requirement that I needed to apply was proof of relationship, for me to prove that I had a relationship with Jason, or that I have a true relationship with Jason. And of course, you know that there are people that just get married for the visa, so the Home Office really scrutinizes like the applications or the documents that you submit. So one of the first requirements to prove our relationship was our marriage certificate. if you watch my previous videos, we did mention that we got married legally in October. One of the reasons why we did the legal wedding early was so we could start the processing for the visa on time. So we started the visa processing on time way before the white wedding, so that by the time we're done with the white wedding and everything, hopefully by God's grace the visa will be ready, and it was, as God will have it. So we did the court wedding in October in Ghana, and then we submitted that marriage certificate as one of the evidences of our relationship. Another thing that we did was to take screenshots of our chats from the beginning, so different parts of our chat showing the date on WhatsApp. We took screenshots of that, arranged it on an A4 paper, like about 3 pages, arranged it. We also took screenshots of our conversations on iMessage, and also arranged it on an A4 paper, and just arranged it. Another thing that we did was our call logs. I don't know, Jason used an app that brought out all our call logs from the time he started calling me. So it was about 5, 6, 7 pages of A4 paper, and each of these calls, it was detailed how many hours we spoke. And generally, we've already said this, we talk for like an hour at a stretch, plus an hour plus at a stretch. So all of that was on the paper. That was another document that we submitted. Another thing that we submitted was pictures that we had taken over time, and we tried to put timestamps, and we tried to tell a story with it. So for example, when we first met, we put the picture where like our first meeting in London Waterloo, and then we put the date, and then we just picked several other images of us together, and then we put that there as well. Even when Jason traveled to Nigeria, we put pictures of that, we put tickets of his trip, all of that, so all of those pictures, like you need to give enough evidence to just prove to them that this relationship is genuine. Okay, so we submitted every single thing we could submit. What else did we even submit? Another thing we had to submit was cover letter. So basically Jason wrote a letter explaining how we met, how our relationship has progressed, how we got married, and why we're applying for the spousal visa. So he wrote that, signed it, and sent to me. Then I also wrote my own letter, signed it, and added it to my supporting documents. One thing that Jason and I did when we decided we were going to apply for this spousal visa was to first reach out to a lawyer. So lucky enough, he has a friend as a lawyer who is here in the UK. Like, the friend works in the UK, an immigration lawyer. So she was kind enough to send us all the details that we need. So that's the document I'm looking at here. One of the supporting documents needed as well was our passport. So Jason, I needed a copy of his data page of his British passport. That's to prove his citizenship. Okay. Then I also needed to submit my passport, obviously. Let me see. So I just want to go through everything to be sure that I didn't forget anything. So get photos of us, travel tickets, hotel bookings, like when Jason traveled to Nigeria, all of that, all emails, WhatsApp, and messages you and your wife have sent to each other, all itemized phone bills. Okay, so another thing is, if you have been living together with your partner before and you have payments that are in your names, like payments that are in both of your names, you can submit that as well as supporting documents. But Jason and I had never lived together, so there was no supporting documents that had both our names on any payment. So this brings me to the next requirement, which is the financial requirement. Okay, in order to move to the UK as a spouse, your partner in the UK has to prove that they are financially able to support you, like they're financially able to carry you in the UK, because the UK does not need a liability. So one of the documents they will need to prove this financial requirement is the P60. And if you're in the UK, you know the P60 is like a calculation of all your tax returns in a tax year. So you would need that. You'd need a letter, a letter-headed and dated letter and signed letter from your place of employment, just stating the job you do, how much you're paid, and how long you've been working there. You would also need to provide your bank statements from as far back as you can. I think Jason sent me about 60 pages of his bank statement that I had to use to apply for this. I'm trying to figure out the exact amount. I just had to look that up. So like the amount your partner has to be earning in the UK, it has to be above 18,600 per month for 6 months or longer. So meaning if your partner has started a job, for example, and at the end of the year, you know, their total earnings is 18,600, but they've been doing that job for just like 2-3 months, it doesn't apply. They have to be at the same job for at least 6 months, and that job has to pay them at least 18,600 pounds per year before you're eligible to apply. Okay, alternatively, if you don't have a job that pays 18,600 per year, you need to have at least 16,000 cash savings. Okay, and this is what your bank statement would prove. Another thing we had to submit was 6 months of Jason's pay slips. Okay, so pay slips, all his pay slips for like 6 months, we had to submit that as well. So another requirement that we had to submit was like our living arrangement. So what's the plan for when I join him in the UK? Where are we going to live? Just needed to prove that he had a place where I could stay with him, and this was, we had to prove this through one, the tenancy agreement of the place he stays, and then secondly, like council tax, which just shows like the paying tax at a certain location. So we had to submit these 2 documents as well, and as you can see, these are already a lot of documents, but not to worry. In the description box of this video, I'm going to list down all, I will try to list down all the documents that we used to apply for this visa. One other thing that was required of us was test of English, or proof of English, of efficiency in English. So because I did my master's in the UK, my master's degree served as a waiver. So clearly, because I studied in the UK, it proves that I can speak and I understand English perfectly. But if you did not study in the UK, then you just have to ensure that, for example, if your degree is in Nigeria, you can apply, because, and then you just let them know that you were taught in English. Other than that, you might have to take an IELTS test. I'm not so sure about this. Yeah, look at it, you have to confirm that the degree is the equivalent of a UK degree and was taught in English. There's a link that you would use to certify that your qualification was taught in English. If you did not study in the UK, it's here. I think I'll put it in the description box as well. So the cocoa of this matter is, what is the cost? What is the cost of applying for this visa? I won't lie to you, applying for this visa is pretty much capital intensive. You're gonna feel it in your bank account if you don't have money. You're gonna feel it. Even if you have money, you will feel it. Nobody likes spending money. Well, I don't like spending money. So one of the first things I had to pay for was the visa application fee. So when I filled the visa form online, I had to make an application payment of £1,596. Now that's a lot of money. So I remember when we made the payment, we were both like, oh Jesus, this thing better comes out, because there is no how on earth, after paying all this money, oh Jesus, well, thank you God, it all worked out. So £1,596 for the visa application. Then after that, we had to pay the IHS fee. So IHS is Immigration Health Surcharge, which is like health insurance for me as I stay here. I had to pay £1,961, just call it £2,000, £1,961. So just these two together is already £3,500 plus pounds. Now that's a lot. And I think I already mentioned earlier that I did a TB test at the IOM Center, which is International Office for Migration, yeah, for 57,800, and then also pay for assisted service of 37,850. How long is the processing time for this visa? So this is the part that really wrecked my nerves. Like, I was so worried at some point. So processing time for spouse visa is 3 months, within 3 months standard time. Okay, so that means without paying for priority service, standard processing time is 3 months. The Home Office will tell you get a decision within 3 months. Now after the first month, I wasn't so worried. By the second month, I was already losing my mind. I was like, Jesus, what is going on? I haven't heard anything from these people. And then I think because in the second month I now got an email saying that, oh, there are some supporting documents I need to submit. I'm like, I submitted everything, what's going on? Like, I panicked, only for me to realize it's an automated message reminding me that if I've not submitted anything, I should ensure I post it to the address that he sent or something. So after I realized that was just an automated message, I calmed down. I'm like, okay, that means for me to get this thing, it means my application is progressing. Now after 2 months, then we went 2 months, 2 weeks, I had not heard anything, and I'm like, Jesus is Lord. Then this is the part where I went online and started looking for other people who applied from Nigeria. Then there was this guy I saw, he said that his own took 7 months, and I'm like, I don't understand. Why will it take 7 months? They say within 3 months. So I was having like serious panic and worry about it. Now, another thing that is important to mention here is that you can actually speed up this processing time by paying for priority service. Priority service is £500. Now, with all the money we had spent, like, we were not willing to part with £500, so we just went for the standard visa service. So if you want to do priority, you can do that. I have a friend who did priority and she got her visa in 2 weeks, about a month. I'll be lying. About a month, like spouse visa, about a month after paying priority. Or was it super priority she paid for? I can't remember, but I know she used a priority service. And then, as God we have it, 2 months and 3 weeks, it was on the 3rd week after the 2nd month that I got the email saying, hey, your passport is ready for pickup. And I feel like this is really nerve-wracking, because it would be good if they just send the decision in the email, like, let me just know, did I get the visa or not, like giving me anxiety, telling me my passport is ready, so until I pick it before I actually know what's inside. Like, fam, that's crazy. So I had to now fly down, because I was staying in Enugu with my family, so I had to fly down from Enugu to Abuja, and all the time my heart was beating, because I'm like, God, please let this be positive, because I was like, God, you have submitted everything we can submit, you know this relationship is genuine, God, I beg. Still, I went to the TLS contact, collected my passport, and I opened it, and hallelujah, I was given my visa. And so this brings me to the next point. How long is the visa? Like, how long can I stay here? So the visa gives you 2 years and 9 months. So after 2 years and 9 months, I would have to reapply again for another 2 years and 9 months. Then after that second 2 years and 9 months, I can now apply for the indefinite leave to remain, which is permanent residency in the UK. So I hope this covers it. I hope I've been able to do justice to this. I hope you found this video helpful. Quite unrelated, but somebody did ask me that what was my luggage allowance on my flights, that they saw me carrying 3 boxes in that video, the last video that I uploaded. Well, I traveled with British Airways, so yeah, that's the airline, and I was allowed 23 kg for 2 check-in boxes, and then 23 kg for the carry-on luggage. So that's why I had 3 boxes. I checked into, then I took 1 into the flight with me. Okay, so I hope that clarifies it. So that's how I'm here on a spouse visa, and I hope this helps with the application process if anybody's in this process, because yeah, it's a lot. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share, and thank you so much for the love of my last video. Till next time, guys, bye bye.